of our local, regional and international viewers, thank you kindly for choosing us here at Real TV, where we bring reality to you. My dear friends, a very warm welcome to another edition of the program Conversations with Zelisa, where we continue to inform, educate, empower and answer those unanswered questions. I am Zelisa Rupani, humbly inviting you to sit back, relax, enjoy, get your pen, get your notebook, Real TV, so you could take notes and important numbers that will be helpful for you and your loved ones. Directing this morning and in master control, Mr. Philip. On behalf of the team, we'd like to wish each and every one of you a beautiful, blessed, productive and great day today. Happy Thursday. It's Thursday, the 9th of October, 2025. It is a day and time we'll never have the opportunity to ever have again in life. So don't procrastinate, don't waste your time, do something productive and constructive. If you're celebrating a birthday, happy birthday. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary to you and yours. You know, tomorrow is not promised, so don't take life for granted, don't take your loved ones for granted, all right? Let's quickly go to our quote for today, coming to us with the kind compliments of Fab India Expo. And our quote says, "Abuse is not love. It is control, fear and manipulation." Thank you so much for that, Philip. Let's go to our sponsor from Fab India Expo. Remember to check them out.
Step into the colors and flavors of India at the India in Style Expo opposite the Center of Excellence Mokoya. Dive into our Indian Food Festival featuring a delicious variety, plus explore vibrant Indian clothing, elegant outfits for the entire family, perfect for every occasion. Open daily from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. opposite the Center of Excellence in Mokoya. Get ready, Shoguners! The Fab India Expo is back, starting on September 18th, right opposite the Medford gas station, Shoguners. Shop authentic Indian fashion, food, jewelry, home decor, and much more. Don't miss out on the Fab India Expo opposite Medford gas station, Shoguners, your one-stop cultural destination.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa, right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. To all of our local, regional, international viewers, thank you so much for choosing us. Remember to download the Tego app on your phone. Take us with you anytime, real time, all right, so you don't miss out. Like and share the information because it's great information. Knowledge is power. And when you have the knowledge to make better decisions, we're always going to have a better tomorrow, a better future. Yeah. This morning I'm in conversation. She's no stranger. I consider her part of the Real TV family, and of course backed by popular demand, a force to be reckoned with when it comes to the law. I'm speaking of no other than gorgeous Shalini Sankar, attorney at law, and today she's going to be talking to us about domestic violence. Good morning and a warm welcome.
Good morning, Zelisa. Thank you for having me again this morning.
Well, we are very privileged, so you could share your wealth of knowledge and of course experience, and that makes a great teacher. So great to have you with us again.
Thank you. So today this topic is very important to me because I believe in the protection of women and children in society. Yeah. I do a lot of work in that region. So even though domestic violence is all encompassing, it's just that that's an area that I'm very, very particular about, and I feel like people need to be aware about it a little bit more.
Good.
So I'm hoping that today I could bring some sort of knowledge and experience from my personal experiences in the legal field to try and help people know what to do when they have a domestic violence situation. Today we're talking about an issue that is often hidden behind closed doors. And it is something that is not simply about physical harm. A lot of people, they think it's just physical abuse, and that's when they think, oh, this person is abusing this one. This is domestic violence. There are many different types of
Exactly.
Yeah, there are many different types of abuse. It could be physical, it could be financial, it could be emotional, it could be psychological. And it could happen to anyone. It could happen to a woman. It could happen to a man.
Correct.
It could happen to a child. It could happen to the elderly. It could happen to the disabled.
Correct.
And now the Domestic Violence Act has defined abuse more broadly. So now it includes threats, it includes stalking, it includes isolation, and the destruction of property. So now what happens is that the law doesn't only recognize the harm that it causes to you personally on your body. It also recognizes that it could break your spirit, and it could break somebody's confidence or sense of safety. And what I wanted people to find out more about is that domestic violence is not just between a husband and wife.
Right.
Many people really believe that that's where it's at. It could be between a father and a son who have a problem at home where the son is abusing the father.
Yes.
It could be between siblings. It could be between you and a past partner, an ex partner.
Right.
It could be between you and a current partner. It could be between a child and a parent. And it's the types of relationships that it covers are more is broader than just a familiar relationship as husband and wife.
Right.
Now, it also protects persons once you are living in the same home and you have a familiar relationship, as I said. So your uncle could be living in the same home as you, but not be your parent or your guardian. But because you live in the same home, you can get a domestic violence order against your uncle if there's an issue of abuse within the home.
And we're also talking verbal as well, eh?
Yes.
Because a lot of people are very abusive verbally. So
Yeah.
what you say, but how you say it, and the language that you use as well. I think that is also important. And I know you mentioned behind a lot of things, we think domestic violence it happens behind closed doors, but that may not always necessarily be the case. People are very open about being abusive. You spoke about grandparents.
Yeah.
We have seen and heard cases where grandchildren actually beat their grandparents and take away their pension. And
Yeah,
by
there's a lot of elder abuse now. And the
Yes.
elderly don't understand
Yes.
that they can get an order protecting them, and that order is very important so that it not only provides them with a sense of protection to ensure that that person behaves themselves and doesn't financially abuse them or speaks to them properly. It also means that if they should try and do it again in the future, they
Yeah.
also have an order from the court, but the police can arrest that person and then have to take them back before the court to explain their behavior.
And you're well within your rights to do that. This morning, just prior to the show, I was in conversation with a brilliant lady, well-established lady, and I was saying the same thing to her. It's time to stand up for your rights and for what you believe in. It's wrong when people steal your joy and they steal your peace.
Correct.
And they're under your skin. We have control within ourselves, and I'm happy that you've elaborated on that this morning, because you're correct. When we hear domestic violence, we think of husband and wife, wife and husband, but it's so beyond that now. I like the fact that you've even said you're living in a home with an extended family, and that happens now. I think since COVID, a lot of people decided we'll come back home or we'll all live together in order to pay bills and carry on and things like that. But you're correct. You may have an uncle or aunt or a daughter-in-law and a mother-in-law and a mother-in-law and a daughter-in-law, and it's happening.
Yeah.
And people just sit idly by every day and they live disenchanted, broken, unhappy. But you're well within your rights to stand up for yourself.
Yeah, and domestic violence is not, as I said, it's not just a private matter, it's actually a crime. So you want to make sure that you want to stop somebody from abusing you verbally in the home, and you get an order. I mean, I might say, you shouldn't speak to me like that. I don't like the way you're speaking to me. It's inappropriate. I don't like you swearing at me, and you're not stopping it. If I need to have a court order in place to tell you to stop doing it, otherwise there are consequences behind it, since you don't want to do it for yourself, then I will help guide your behavior that way. It doesn't have to mean that I'm getting an order because I am trying to harm you. I'm not trying to harm you. I'm trying to protect me.
I am so happy that you are teaching us about thinking outside of the box when it comes to domestic violence, because I'll share something with you. Very recently, I was sitting with a young gentleman, 21 years old, and he said to me, Mizzy, I'm going to leave home, because I can't handle the situation with his mother and her sibling. They're always fighting, he's doing crazy things, and so I told him, boy, don't take the law into your hands, because, he's seeing his mother being abused by her family member that's taking advantage of the situation and the house, and especially when the house belongs to the you have a lot
unit.
of So he feel he's within his rights, but then he's being abusive and treating the sister with no respect and regard and things like that. And now that I have the knowledge from you, I could say to him, you have the right to go to police and get help for your mom and for peace in the home, harmony.
So if I, as a family member, realize that somebody else needs protection, I can say, listen, I want you to go and get a protection order. You might be too scared to do it. I could make the application for you. And that's something that's real, that I could help you. I could stand up and do it for you. And before, it used to be a lot more difficult for persons to get access to the courts. But now court is virtual. It's on your phone.
Yes,
it's on the computer.
True. Yeah.
So by the time you make your application, and it's an emergency application, so you see a judge within 24 to 48 hours, depending on the severity of the information that comes before the court.
Yeah.
And they will deal with your matter immediately. And when they look at the evidence and they decide, listen, this woman, this man, this child, this grandparent, this elderly person, this disabled person needs immediate protection. They will immediately grant the protection order, and you will have access to that order. You will have, it will be sent to the nearest police station to make sure that you have that protection. Things that wasn't available before, now available to us.
Now, what about those that are in fear of their life in terms of, well, I do that, but then I still have to live in the same house under the same roof with this person. I'm afraid because I still have to deal with this person, the fear of perhaps saying, well, I'm afraid to even live here, where are going to go and live? So some people are apprehensive because of situations like that.
That's a real situation. A lot of people don't want to bring an action against somebody because that person is the financial provider in the home.
Exactly.
That person taking care of the family, they might be a housewife. They mightn't be able to support themselves.
Exactly.
But what the court does is that they can take the abuser out of the home. And they can cause the abuser to still provide that financial assistance.
Now, may I ask, the court, they do have the right to remove the person from the home if, if they agree, well, this is abuse. They qualify this as abuse, and for the safety of the other members. Would the court then perhaps ask that person to, or send that person to do some form of counseling or reform, something to that matter that will help that person?
Yes, they do. They send the family. They could send the family to mediation. They could send them for counseling. But at the same point in time as well, I mean, mental health in Trinidad is something that really needs to be discussed, because a lot of the times, the persons that inflict this fear and this aggressive behavior, they are unable to regulate their emotions properly. And sometimes, yes, they might need court intervention, but if it is that they're not seeking court intervention, you can try therapy. You can try and see whether or not you can get access for help for that person so that they can stop the behavior that is making you live in a life of fear, if they understand the harm it's going to cause to them and to you.
And I think that's part of the, I think it's important, even though we may be disenchanted or upset or hurt, or in a situation where we're being abused, we must always also try to see how we can help that person, because hurt people. And somewhere along the line, whether they do it in this environment, they'll do it in another. or in another family, or another relationship. So nip it in the bud, and get some sort of help. This is the program Conversations with Zelisa right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. In conversation with learned attorney at law Shalini Sankar, and today she's talking to us about domestic violence. Let's go to these important messages. When we return, we continue our conversation. If you may have any questions, if you may have any concerns, if you are in a situation and you need some sort of guidance, don't hesitate to reach out. Stay with us.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life. Because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
On Saturday, 25th October, at the Center of Excellence, Massive Tank Sound Company brings to you a night of Bollywood magic, featuring the Big B of Gujarat, Bankim Pathak, Daksha Goyal, Indian Idol star Shivanji Sharma, Nitin Kumar, Chaturvedi. Get those general tickets $200, VIP $500. For VVIP, call 498-1698. Ticket outlets, all extra foods nationwide. Prem Singh's Kirap and Shagwanas, MS Food City Debe. Saturday, 25th October, at the Center of Excellence. A night of Bollywood magic.
Kill man is a real dog, you know. Kill man is a real dog out here. Nah. That's what you saying he do? After he talked that big game and nothing? If you search up red flag, you will see he face me. I don't understand.
But he didn't do nothing wrong.
But how you know he do nothing wrong?
Because you could see it. You just have an opinion and you voice your opinion to your friend and making him man look like a dog.
But he's a dog.
Because you say so.
He's a dirty dog. You know the backstory here?
But if the same way you going on where you're saying and I going on where I say it, I have a different opinion to
Yeah,
you.
but that's my opinion.
Well, I'm not saying you can't have your opinion, but your opinion wrong.
But you know what is my next opinion? Why you minding my business?
Because you're talking loud, your business is we business.
Why I don't understand only.
You could have managed stop.
Coming your way every Tuesday and Thursday on Real TV from 6 to 7:30 p.m. It's not just love. It's not just reality. It's love versus reality. Expect the passion, the drama, the twists you never saw coming, and the moments that make you question, is it true love or just reality biting back? Only on Real TV, where reality hits different.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa right here on Real TV. It's Thursday and of course, it's Love and Reality at 6 p.m. sharp. I think they've got a bonus this evening. They're running till what? Guys, until 8, I'm not sure. But it's Love and Reality. Check them out today at 6. You'll never be the same. It's hilarious, trust me. It's just the show you want to look at to unwind and relax and get a good laugh. Yeah. But of course, right now it's Conversations with Zelisa, and of course I'm in conversation with learned attorney at law Shalini Sankar, and today she's talking to us about domestic violence, and of course teaching us or helping us to understand that when we may think domestic violence is just cuffing and punching and blue eye and beating, it's more than that, really. Welcome back.
Well, thanks.
I know you wanted to share an experience of a lady.
Yes.
That she had, and how she was able to get back to reality and understand that life is real, and sometimes people play mind games. People do play mind games, especially when they're in the wrong. you know, and they probably point fingers and want to make you feel you are the wrong one. You made this happen. You made me do this to you, or you make me speak to you like this.
Correct. So I told you I was watching this documentary about this lady, and the lady was being gaslit by her husband. She kept telling him, I am in fear of what you're doing. Why are you speaking to me like this? She was getting withdrawn from her family. She was getting isolated. She didn't understand what was going on. She thought that she was overthinking every event, that it wasn't domestic violence. And what she started to do is she started a journal, and she started to write down everything that was happening to her. And she kept this journal for a few months, and in the documentary, she said she read it back, and then she realized, wait a minute, all these things that happened, this is not right. Because when you put the pen to the paper and you realize, look at the anxiety and fear and frustration and the emotional abuse and the psychological abuse that I was dealing with, then she realized that, okay, well, this is domestic violence, and then she took steps. So my advice to people is to do the same thing, because I thought I was really good.
I thought document everything, write it
when
down.
you think you're not sure about what is happening and if it is domestic violence and if you need the intervention, you document it. And sometimes just documenting it could open a conversation. If you and your partner are having issues and you realize that you're being gaslit all the time, and you pull out your little notepad, well, you know, you told me this and this is not right. And you told me this and this is not right. And you realize and you show them you have a pattern of behavior. Maybe you need to go and get some help and think about what it is that you're doing and why you're doing it. As I was talking about before with mental health.
Yeah.
It's really important. So
relationship is about a partnership. It's about sitting and having constructive conversations.
Correct.
Working together, growing together. You may have your common goal as a couple, but that doesn't mean you should be stopped from having your personal goal. And in many cases, you find that when people get married, they work more towards a common goal, which is good. There's nothing wrong in that, but you should not allow your dreams or your goals to die.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that happens a lot. And 20, 30 years into a marriage, after you have kids, sometimes even grandchildren, you realize, where did my life go? What did I do for me?
And a lot of times people think getting a domestic violence order against their partner is an attack on their partner or attack on their relationship or their marriage.
Yeah.
And they don't realize it's just a protection. It's a protection for you
I
to
like
prevent
that you said that. It's protecting yourself
Correct.
from harm.
So
What can come eventually.
Exactly. So if you write down what is going on at home and you speak to your partner and you realize nothing is coming out of it, and you keep writing and you realize the behavior is continuing, you realize you need to get intervention. And if any form of familiar intervention at the home is not working, then you need the intervention of the courts. So Lisa, it had a matter that I did when I was a young attorney. And we went for a protection order in courts for a lady, just to renew her protection order. She had it for 3 years. She was going to renew it. And we're there waiting in court for her to come. We're like, why is she so late? Do you know her husband killed her the day before? So the police had to come in court and say how her husband killed her. And the fact of the matter was that she had her DV order in place, but she didn't call the police. So she had the order, and when she saw the man, she thought time passed. You know, he was over it. He no longer wanted to be with her. He was in a new relationship with somebody else, that he wasn't going to cause her any harm. And he broke the order and came just the night before she was going to renew it to talk to her. And then he killed her.
Prevention better than cure.
Exactly.
Prevention, get help for yourself. I want to ask you this, in as much as you spoke about, you brought up infidelity. when two people are in a home, husband and wife, and either party, because we know women are doing it very open now, on the phone, they're having an affair, the partner knows about it, but they're open about it. On the phone, taking calls, you're getting dressed to go with this person, you're overhearing conversations, you're aware of what is happening. You're spending more time out than in. You're not providing for the home as you used to. You go on social media and you see in your husband, who is your husband, who is going to come home eventually, whatever hour, out there having dinner with somebody else or vice versa. Is that considered violence? Is that considered under domestic? What is that then?
Well,
how can you get help for yourself?
If they agree on things like that and they are aware of it, then they would need to seek the advice of an attorney. So what we would do in a situation like that is we consider a separation agreement where the parties decide, okay, we are going to be separated from now on, and these are the boundaries. This is what we're going to do. This is what I'm okay with. This is not what I'm not okay with. And then it's either at the end of the separation, you get a divorce, or you work on your marriage. You decide on what you want to do. There's so many different elements now to marriage and divorce. It's not just immediately going to a divorce. There are different documents that you could do, different things that you could do to guide somebody's relationship, to help the parties decide what they want to do. So, but in relation to domestic violence, the emotional and the physical and the psychological abuse that person is experiencing, they are aware of it and they're putting themselves continuously in that situation. So it depends on the actual situation. There was a matter that I did in the past where the man, he was in another relationship with another person, but he was financially abusing the woman who he was married with. No money for groceries, can't take care of your child. You know, you have to beg for money. You have to beg for money for food for your child and for yourself.
There are cases and stories where, no, well, not stories, real life, where women working, they go to work, you know,
give the money.
and give that money, and they are not allowed to use that money, you know. He's buying the groceries, he's paying all the bills, he's controlling your money that you work hard for. There are cases like that. People in that situation, what are the steps they should take in order to release themselves of this bondage, I call it?
Well, they have to decide that they want to do that. That's the first step. They have to make that decision. The second step is when they go and see an attorney, because in the case that I was telling you about, what we did was we got an injunction and we threw the man out of the house. He had to find somewhere else to live. The lady was secure. She and her child was able to remain in the house, and he had to pay the money into the court for the child and for the woman to give spousal and child support, so that they had the opportunity to continue living and enjoying the standard of life they should have been enjoying all the time.
Now, in a situation like that, if the court says, okay, we are removing you because you are not, you know, they're not in a safe place with you, and then they say, okay, you've got to pay X, Y, Z, but he's delinquent in payment, and they need that money for survival because she's a housewife. You know, probably she gave up her career, whatever the case is. What happens in a situation like that? And we do know that there are a lot of people that delinquent when it comes to paying.
Well, when you have an order from the courts and you fail to abide by the order, then certain actions can be taken against you. If you see in ENL and nearly every day, you have warrants out for people to arrest for failing to pay child maintenance.
Yeah.
They always advertise
Go to jail.
it. Yeah, they go to jail.
That's how serious it is. This is the program Conversations with Zelisa. Today we're speaking about domestic violence, the different types of domestic violence that we often may not be aware that is classified, and it is domestic violence and you're being abused. And in conversation with Lint attorney at law Shalini Sankar. Let's go to these important messages. Stay with us.
Diwali preparations can be quite stressful, especially when you have a hectic schedule. Luckily, at premsing.com, I get my Diwali essentials all in one place. With a click of a button, I can get my diyas, decorations, lights, sweet boxes, sweet mixes, groceries, knickknacks, and more. I enjoy shopping online because I can enjoy the store specials here too, like this reduced price box of wax deals and decorations.
Yes, people, you have been waiting with bated breath and you have been asking. The Future of Talk is back with yours truly, Heavy Duty, and my co-host,
CC, and we are live on Real TV from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. every afternoon, Monday to Friday.
Yes, you heard it, Real TV, right here. Yours truly, Heavy Duty and TC, the Future of Talk is back.
Yeah.
Right?
On Saturday, 25th October, at the Center of Excellence, Massive Tank Sound Company brings to you a night of Bollywood magic, featuring the Big B of Gujarat, Bankim Pathak, Daksha Goyal, Indian Idol star Shivanji Sharma, Nitin Kumar, Chaturvedi. Get those general tickets $200, VIP $500. For VVIP, call 498-1698. Ticket outlets, all extra foods nationwide. Prem Singh's Kirap and Shagwanas, MS Food City Debe. Saturday, 25th October, at the Center of Excellence. A night of Bollywood magic.
Ladies and gentlemen, television viewer, I am Reverend Dr. Oswald David of Deliverance Ministries, inviting you to view and to watch our television program, Awesome, on this TV station, Real TV, every Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m. You will witness what God is in the now. You will witness what can never happen is happening, and it's good. It will be not some monotonous, boring, religious presentation. It will be an experience that will last you for a lifetime and make a difference in your life and in your situation. It is time that you have real happening, not just religion. Remember, every Sunday, 4 p.m. God bless you. Do invite your friends and family to join you as you watch these programs that will make a difference in your life and in your situation. God bless you.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa. You know, I'm in conversation with learned attorney at Lower Shalini Sankar, and today she's talking to us about domestic violence. Now, if you are in a situation and you feel you need some sort of legal advice, you can call me after the show. I'll be happy to share her contact so she could guide you, maybe have a little counseling, to know where you're at and how you can move forward in order to protect yourself, not just you, but your children as well. Welcome back.
Thank you. So we also have the gender-based violence units with the TTPS.
Yes.
So they provide a lot of support as well now. So now, because of the amount of crime in the country that is actually coming from domestic violence, they established their own units to deal with it. And you know, we also offer the community justice clinics as well, where we go within the community to provide advice and to try and be closer to the community, to allow persons to come and seek advice and see how we could help them deal with domestic violence.
And it's free, absolutely free. And you know, I really want to highlight the great work of Sajina Kadira Tini at Lower.
She's
for
really
a
good.
young woman who is so passionate. And she's involved, like you, wearing many hats, involved in so many charitable and different things, empowering people. But really also, I mean, when you think about getting free legal advice,
Sajina has been instrumental in being able to carry this clinic continuously year after year.
I'm telling you.
This is our 3rd year.
Yeah.
So,
and you all are doing exceptionally well.
And it's a lot of attorneys, but it would not be managed properly if it wasn't for her. So
she does a marvelous job.
Yeah.
And then you're not just in Trinidad, you're in Tobago as well.
Correct.
Which is, I mean, you've done exceptionally well in helping, bring justice to so many people that perhaps without you all couldn't afford or didn't know the know-how, or just getting that consult to get the knowledge, is so important.
So Zelisa, I do a lot of work with migrants, right?
I do.
So there was a case that came up, and this is one of the reasons I wanted to do this this session as well today. A lot of non-nationals and persons who are here and they are illegal in the country feel that they have to take abuse at the home, that they have to take the domestic violence, that if they go to the police, that they'll be deported or they'll be put in prison. And that's not the case. The police are here to protect them as well. There was a really bad case I had to deal with where a lady called me completely frightened that her husband was trying to strangle her and trying to hang her. And she could have only called me for all of a second, but at least she had a number to call. And I think it's very important that if anybody calls or anything like that, I'll leave all the numbers for the judiciary, for the police units, the gender-based units, for Living Waters, everything with you as well. So if people need it, they could always call and they can get access to it. But we had to intervene, and I called the police station and I said, listen, this lady is in dire need. She needs to get intervention immediately. And they went, and the gender-based unit immediately went, take her out of the home, made sure she was safe, make sure that how she got medical treatment. They dealt with the man. They asked about doing a domestic violence order against him. They had a child in the home. They spoke to him about it. And the thing is, it's an abusive relationship because you have persons who are Trinidadian with migrant women, and then you have them abusing them while they have them here. And
she was illegal here?
She was illegal here.
And she got the help from the TTPS?
She got the help from the TTPS. She wasn't arrested. She wasn't put in jail.
Very good.
Nothing happened to her. She was able to get the help that she needs. A lot of times, the abuser tends to tell people, well, what are you going to do if you do that?
Where you'll go, what you're going to do.
Exactly.
Nobody,
That's it for you and your child. You and your child will go back to Venezuela. And so take your licks and stay quiet. Allow me to abuse you, and that's not the case. So it's important that persons know that if those things are happening, that there are different places that they could go. Like, they have the Coalition Against Domestic Violence. They have a lot of charitable groups that help and stuff as well.
That is awesome. This is good news and good information. There are lots of situations where even you have the young illegal girls from Venezuela as well and neighboring, like I know a couple from Cuba as well in Trinidad, and they get involved with married men. They get involved with married men. And these married men, who are sometimes very big business people, they are talking about. And let me tell you something, they abuse these girls.
Yeah.
They treat them, they're the sugar daddy, they take care of them, but they treat them very poor with no respect and no regard. And they get caught up in this relationship because they're paying their bills. But they're getting licks morning, noon, and night. They're treated very badly.
Well, a lot of the migrants know this already, but Living Waters community also provides a lot of assistance to persons, and not just Venezuelans, to all migrants, all non-nationals.
Yeah.
So whichever country you may have come from, you are still getting the same protection in Trinidad and Tobago from domestic violence, regardless of where you're from. And it's important for people to know that, so that they know that they can go to the police and tell them, I need to speak to somebody in the gender-based unit, or I need to speak to a woman police officer. I need to speak to somebody about what is happening at my home, and let them know, let them intervene, and get that assistance.
Yeah, I think what is important is that you said it correctly. The first thing is acknowledging and saying, I am being hurt, I am being abused, and I'm going to do something about it. Very often you say it, but you don't take action because of whatever reason, or fear, or trying to still save a relationship or save your family. But you don't understand the hurt that perhaps your children are going through, what they are facing.
The worst thing is to hear that a loved one has passed on because of abuse that you knew nothing about. That they kept hidden, that they didn't bother to get a chance to go and get help for. They didn't
We've
bother
seen
to get,
that where siblings cry and bawl. Well, I didn't know, I had no idea this was going on, you know, and I wish I had known because I would have done something.
Correct. An intervention is better. Prevention is better than cure.
It is any
So
time.
at least they could do different things now and take the information and think about it. Like the same lady that I told you from the documentary. Write it down. See what behaviors you're experiencing. Everything is valid. The way you are feeling is valid. Validate your feelings by writing it down. You can see for yourself if you feel on a later date, I was overreacting. It really wasn't like that. Or I was not overreacting, and this is something that I need to address.
Yeah.
You know? So
Get help.
Get help.
Get help. And the truth is, there are many avenues to get help.
Yeah.
Many, many avenues. So, you know, don't make excuses. Stand up for your rights. Stand up for what you believe in, your integrity. You know, stand up for the truth. Yeah? What are some of the avenues? First thing you would say, call the police officer or go to a police station. You talk about documenting. You have now your phone. You could take pictures. You could record certain things, certain conversations.
So if you're a victim of domestic violence, the first thing you have to do is make a report in the nearest police station.
Good.
So you make a report about what has happened. You go to a clinic. You get pictures, medicals for what it is that's happened.
Nice.
And you inform the doctor that you have been a victim of domestic violence in the home, so that they have their report ready for when the police comes to collect the report.
Understood. So, okay. So
then there's evidence.
So you need to let your doctor know, your medical practitioner know. Listen, I'm here because I'm being abused physically.
But you have to go to a public clinic.
Right,
or the hospital.
not a private. Okay. All right, understood. So make sure you go to the your community clinic or the hospital. That is, not private, not your private doctor. Good. That's like the social security, you know, the social welfare.
Yeah.
You cannot go to a private doctor. You need to go to the, you know.
Once you make your report and the police gets the medical, and they'll ask you what you want to do, you'll be guided as to how to make a request in the court to get the protection order. And we have the domestic violence hotline. We have the normal, through the judiciary now, we have in their call log, the first number that you can call when you call into the judiciary is the domestic violence hotline. So you can call them, and then after you literally are transferred one time into the hotline and be able to give your information to somebody, and then after they take all your information, and then after they bring you before a court to get a protection order as soon as possible.
I think the first thing is that you can't live in denial, because sometimes you have to really ask yourself, something so beautiful at one time could be something so terrible at another, so ugly. You can't believe this is actually happening in your life. You wake up and, this is really the person I fell in love with? Is this the person that I got married to? Is this the person I choose to be the father or mother of my children? You know, you question those things.
You have to take off your rose-colored glasses. I saw a video, and they talk about when the man was abusing the woman and shouting at her and cursing and swearing at her, and then she put on her shades, and her shades was rose-colored, and they told her, take out your rose-colored glasses and see it for what it is. And when you see it for what it is, then you yourself will get the help that you need to get.
Reality check. Yeah. And you have to love yourself. You have to love yourself to wake up and realize, I deserve more. I deserve respect. I don't deserve this. It's wrong.
Correct.
This is somebody's child you're talking about. And you know, what you don't want for yourself, you don't do to others. This is a program, Conversations with Zelisa. Let's go to these important messages. Stay with us.
Welcome to the Power Play, the most exciting period in sport. Join us every Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. as we bring to you all things sport. We break down football, cricket, basketball, all the latest sports in the Caribbean and of course across the world. Right here on Real TV, your station for local sport. Real to the heart, local to the core.
Your community matters, and your news deserves to be heard. From religious events and sports days to fundraisers, markets, and cultural celebrations, Real TV is your platform to share it all. Send us your announcements and let's spread the word together, because strong communities are built on connection. Real TV, real facts, real talk, real community.
Call us today at 292-6470 or WhatsApp us at 384-7142. You can also send an email to realtv.corporate@gmail.com.
Hello, I am Astrid Morillo, Mrs. Congeniality, a bilingual Venezuelan living in Trinidad. I invite you to join me for an exciting new program, La Voz Latina, where we will highlight the achievements, challenges, businesses, and culture of the Latin community in Trinidad and Tobago, including the food, music, talents, immigration experiences, and more. Join me every Saturday and Sunday from 6 to 7 p.m. for conversations that celebrate our voices, our stories, and our community. Coming soon to Real TV.
You're viewing Real TV. Thanks for choosing us.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa, right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. To all of our local, regional and international viewers, thanks for choosing us. I'm in conversation with learned attorney at law, Shalini Sanka, and today she's talking to us about domestic violence. Welcome back.
Thank you, Zelisa.
Let's talk solutions.
This first step is, as you said, is recognizing that you need that help. It's recognizing that you need that help and taking a step to find out more about it. You can have private consultations with an attorney. You can come in, you can speak to somebody, you can say, this is what's happening and I need to know what my options are. You could find this out. Just find out your options. Find out what you can and can't do, what you need to do, what you need to document. And then you get a little bit of a guide to know how to help yourself. There are other avenues that are free. I mean, a lot of attorneys provide free advice. If somebody, especially for domestic violence matters, if you go to an attorney and say, listen, I'm a victim of domestic violence, they might be gladly helping you to see how best they can help you without even charging you anything. But regardless, we have the domestic violence hotline that assists persons. And as I said, it's easy as just writing out what happened. You need to write out, on this day, at this time, this is what happened, this was the physical abuse, this was the verbal abuse, this is what the emotional abuse I thought was, this is what I think is the psychological abuse, this is what this person has been doing, this person destroyed my property, whatever they would have been doing.
You know, you talk about destroying property. You've heard cases where people tear up your clothes or put your clothes in a bundle and set it afire.
Yeah, so when you put those things on paper and you put it within your report, it goes to the court sees what happened and what is the level of protection that you need immediately. So even if it is that that person breaches the order and they come back before the court, given the level of the breach, they could decide on what avenues they want to take to ensure your safety. So now we have ankle monitoring. court is using ankle monitoring. So they're using it for DV cases as well.
Right.
Stay in his place.
Okay.
Do not go near to this lady. If you are within this amount of this range, then unfortunately you'll be in breach of the order.
But that's excellent.
So there are avenues and things in place now that provide more protection. And I think knowledge is power. So I think the first thing people need to do is get that knowledge, find out what it is that they can do.
Ask and you shall receive. Ask, but ask a professional. Don't ask the neighbor. Don't ask, be smart. Get somebody who's trained and qualified that will give you the answers that you need, not that you necessarily want to hear, but that you need to hear. And there's a difference, you know.
We have community police as well within the police departments. So if you go into a police station and you say, this is what's happening, I just want to find out what I could do, the officers will speak to you. They are more trained now in dealing with issues with domestic violence.
And I think now, people would complain and say, as husband and wife think, go back home. We've heard cases like that. But I think now they're a lot more aware and they understand that it's sensitive and it's a fragile situation, and so they are really trying their very best.
There are a lot more consequences as well for officers that do that.
Excellent.
Do not take reports properly.
Yeah.
And if it is that somebody makes a report and it's not properly investigated, there are a lot more consequences for them, because the police service has done a lot to train their officers to ensure that they're aware of the amount of cases we have with domestic violence, the level of crime we have with it, and how important it is to take each matter seriously.
So I had a conversation with a young lady over the phone with regards to being married, now living in her in-laws' home. Husband is really nice to her, but he's working all day. She's at home. She's not employed. And her mother-in-law is always talking down to her, treating her badly, legging a little cuss. Always pulling her down. And she's really very uncomfortable living there. What would you advise someone in that sort of scenario?
Well...
Good conversation with the husband, but the problem is the husband is not believing what she's saying. Or he's, don't take on the mother now or whatever, and he's not around to see what's happening during the day.
Well, she needs to document it. She needs to show him what it is that's been happening. As I said, you can't get a domestic violence order against somebody else in the home, so she can't get an order against the mother-in-law to tell her, do not speak to me like that. She mightn't speak to her at all, but she might speak to her, she will know not to speak to her in the manner she was speaking to her before. But sometimes, instead of going to such a drastic measure, we always say, go to family counseling.
Counseling, yeah.
Go and see if there's any avenue that you can deal with the situation and still remain a family, so that you air out whatever issues that you may be experiencing and decide on how it is that you're going to move forward. So it may mean that maybe there's an issue where the girl using the mother-in-law kitchen and she just don't like her there and she just vexed. So she's taking it out on her. Whatever the reason, it will come out.
Well, I would get my husband to get me, if it's an apartment or one-room place, and we live out of there. So I have a little, I feel safe, I feel secure. It's my space, my home, I do as you like. We also have a lot of cases where you have interrelation marriages, and those children feel less than who they are by grandparents. You have the and again, in the same household they live together, but they show the other children priority, or they treat them differently to the others. In a scenario like that, what would happen then? Family counseling?
Yes. You always try family counseling first. You always try to explore the options that would allow the family home to remain a family home.
Okay.
We don't try to break up a family home. So even as an attorney, you would advise your clients, is it something that we can deal with? There's probation services, they offer free family counseling. So there are many options that are available through the courts and within Trinidad and Tobago that the government provides. And it's just for people to be aware of what is available and try to take action to be able to get the assistance that they need.
You're absolutely correct. It's about educating the citizens of our land. And thank God for Real TV and for conversations and people like you who spend your time, your quality time, trying to inform, educate, and empower people. And by doing that, making better decisions and saving lives. Saving lives. You're actually saving lives or saving families as well.
If we could save one life, we've done a lot.
You would have done a lot. What do you say? Anything you would like to, before we wrap up, share with our viewers?
Well, for those who have been victims of violence, know that you are not alone, know that help is available. Take the opportunity to protect yourself, to prevent something from getting worse in the future. And for those persons that are causing the violence and have the aggression in them, there's also help for you too. There's also help for you too, but you have to understand and take that first step to recognizing that you need that help. And take that first step to protect your own family, because the last thing that you want is that you have a broken family because of silly actions that could be easily changed and actioned differently. So you want to take that opportunity to do whatever you can do to make yourself a better person.
That is such good, deep advice, huh? Acknowledging, taking responsibility. I really did that to my wife, boy. I really treat the woman that I love like that. I couldn't, that is wrong.
And it's not only about saying sorry, it's about...
And that is it.
Yeah.
Oh God, baby, you're sorry. I didn't mean it.
Sorry,
I'll
let's
never
have
do it
flowers.
again. Yeah. Or buy you dinner that night, or
Yeah.
want to treat you, buy you gifts and calling you a million times a day. And women now, or men now are so vulnerable, and they so feel, well, all right, I've forgiven it. But it continues. It's a cycle, and you have to stop it. I like the fact that you've said, take accountability. Look at yourself and ask yourself, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
What am I really doing here? And get help, because what's going to happen is that relationship may break, and you don't fix yourself, and you get into another relationship and you hurt somebody else as well.
And then that
and
relationship
it continues.
also breaks. And then
Exactly.
If
And
you
you
have
go on
children
from
coming into broken homes.
it's exactly, and the cycle history keeps repeating itself.
Right.
Love yourself enough to fix yourself. Love yourself enough to fix yourself, and by doing that, getting some counseling, getting some intervention, people who are trained and certified, and then, you could make things better.
Don't just get it off your chest with your neighbor or your friend.
True, because they go
Get
have
proper
a round of
advice.
alcohol, or to make a cook with your friends, or go on again, and you think it's wrong. Get proper advice, and people can mislead you as well.
Correct.
People can mislead you as well. Your closing comments.
My closing comments. I wish you all the best, and I hope that this was informative, and I hope that if there's anybody suffering from domestic violence or that who needs assistance, that you try and get help. There are lots of help available to you. All you have to do is reach out. If it is that you don't know where to start and you've watched this program, feel free to contact Zelisa, and I will provide her with whatever information I have that I could help you personally to provide some sort of protection for you.
And I thank you kindly for that. I know you've been a pillar of strength doing many doings of so many people, helping them, advising them, and I thank you for that. You're truly a remarkable person. So may God bless you. I trust we'll have other conversations where we could continue to inform, educate, and empower.
Yes.
All the best to you. Take care.
Happy
Thanks
New Year.
again. We'll see you really soon. This is where we're going to wrap things up for today. Love yourself. It's important to fix yourself. It's important for parents when your children reach out to you and express, I'm not happy, I'm in an abusive relationship, things are not the way you see it. You don't say to them, well, you're living in a big house, he paying all the bills, and you're driving a nice car and this and that. I did it so you could do it too. What you're doing is putting your child out there for misery and hurt and pain and to continue to be broken. Rather, get that intervention and get help and say, listen, let's get some advice and let's get things, we either get some early intervention, prevention is better than cure. I want to remind you that with God, all things are possible. I am Zelisa Budu Singh Rupani. Thank you so much for choosing us here on Real TV. Great programming continues. Stick and stay with us. Tell your friends, tell your family members. Be safe, be happy, and I'll see you tomorrow.